Yes, so as we can see, all these speakers as well as the chairpersons, everyone is there. So now we can start with the session. So I welcome you all to for this session, and I request our moderator, sir, Dr. Bipin Jethani, to please take over the dais and invite the speakers as well as the chairpersons. Thank you.
Thank you, Surbi. First of all, a very good morning to the delegates, dignitaries, chairpersons, speakers to this oral session of LMHI Global Colloquium 2021. This particular session is devoted to the theme of improving education, practice, and research. And in particular, this has been dedicated to the century celebration of 6th edition of Organon of Medicine. We all know that Hahnemann strived throughout his life to achieve perfection in his art, which he propounded and so fervently advocated across the world. As a symbolism of his dedicated efforts for the welfare of humanity stands the 6th edition of Organon. Be it the 50 millisimal scale of potency, be it the treatment of fetus during the intrauterine life, many such concepts were given by Hahnemann in the 6th edition of Organon. And today we once again salute this great man, this great reformer, who worked tirelessly till the end of his life, till the last breath, to achieve perfection in his art. We bow down to Hahnemann in reverence, and today we dedicate this session to his last monumental work, which is the 6th edition of Organon. Before I go on to introduce the presenters for the session, who will be enlightening us on the varied aspects of education, practice, and research, I'd first of all like to invite the chairpersons for the session. Our chairperson for the session is a very well-known, revered teacher, author. In fact, he's known as the teacher of teachers, Dr. M.P. Arya. Dr. M.P. Arya needs no introduction. Dr. M.P. Arya, he was a he has been senior homeopathic consultant at Pune, has served in various government organizations at highest levels, be it the senior research officer in Central Research Institute of Homeopathy, be it as assistant director of CCRH, be it the secretary of CCH, be it the principal of well-known colleges. Dr. M.P. Arya's biodata can go on and on without winking the eyes. So it is a pleasure, sir, to have you with us in this learning session. And as always, we will look forward to your enlightening talks, motivational talks to us regarding homeopathy in this session. I welcome on board Dr. M.P. Arya. The other chairperson that we have for this session is Dr. Monica Kolsch. Dr. Monica Kolsch has been an active member of LMHI from Germany. She is the active board member of Society of Homeopathic Physicians in Saxony and the umbrella organization of homeopathic doctors in Germany. She is a well-known international figure, and we all know, being from the birthplace of homeopathy, it's within her genes to propagate the right kind of homeopathy. We welcome you, ma'am, and we also look forward to more deliberation, more enlightening talks from your side as well. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being there. To begin the session, first of all, I would like to invite our first learned speaker, Dr. Elio Rossi from Italy. So Dr. Elio Rossi, sir, would be enlightening us on a very important topic, which is the process of integration of homeopathy and complementary integrative medicine in public health system in Tuscan region of Italy. So I hand over the system to you, sir.
Thank you for the invitation and thank you for introducing me. I try to go as fast as possible. Yes, the process of integration is starting in 1995, 1996 in our region. This is the ceremony of inauguration, opening ceremony of the first public health center for traditional Chinese medicine in near Firenze in San Donnino. And from there started a very big pathway of integration of complementary medicine, including homeopathy. And programs start from there in 1996 with the regional plans, including complementary medicine and homeopathy. At the time, we called them non-conventional medicine. We had in 97 the permission from the governor of Tuscany to open public clinics in the hospital of the region, and the region founded international decentralized cooperation project in support to development of natural and homeopathic medicine in southern countries of the world. This is the ceremony of inauguration of the clinic of La Habana Vieja in Cuba, in which there was also present the Ministry of La Habana Historical Center and the president of WHO. This is our situation in that moment, in this moment in 2020, of a public clinic in the regional health system, public health system in the Tuscany. And you see there is 108 clinics, 74 of them with public access. It means that people doesn't pay a real, just a ticket if they have no exemption, for instance, the case of cancer patient. This is the 4 centers of reference for complementary medicine, Chinese traditional medicine, homeopathy, and herbal therapy, and the complementary medicine for hospitalized patient in the south of Italy. This group of clinics and centers are included in what we call Tuscan Regional Center for Integrative Medicine, which is a network that is manage the situation of the center in the different hospital of the region. This is our first photo of our clinic in 1998, founded in 1980, Homeopathic Clinic of Lucca. And from there are from 2002 we are center of reference for for homeopathy for the region. And also in 2004 we had a journal, Complementary Medicine Tuscany, that today is arrived to have 47 numbers published. Then we have a representative of complementary medicine in Health Regional Council and Bioethical Regional Commission. And we define in 2006 the inclusion of complementary medicine in the regional tariff list as complementary medicine specialist visit for acupuncture, homeopathy, and phytotherapy. This is the bulletin, the journal, 18 years of activity, 47 issues published till today. This is Mariella Di Stefano, the director of the center. We are in the official website of Tuscan region. If you take a note, you can ask to internet Regione Toscana and Medicine Complementari. This is a campaign to inform citizens that the inclusion of complementary medicine in the service of the region. And then to come to education, we have the number 9 2000 in 2007, the regional law, in which there is the regulation of practice and education for medical doctor, dentist, veterinarians, and pharmacists. This is, of course, an important achievement, but better also in some years later, when this regional law became a national law, an agreement between state and region. This is the first pages of the region. You see acupuncture, phytotherapy, and homeopathy. Since then, there are university courses in different years in different cities, but the university in the region are 3: Florence, Pisa, and Siena, and all of them made some university courses, master we call them, for a first or second level. I told you that the law became a regional national law because Italy is a federalistic healthcare system. It means that the state decide the principle and regions make the organization of healthcare. And this is the important national act made by the Minister of Health, the President of the region, and also the Ministry of Health, or Regional Ministry of Health. And this is our training criteria: 400 hours divided in 3 years, more than 100 hours of practical training, and 50% of this hour with a supervisor expert in homeopathy or acupuncture or herbal medicine. To take this diploma allows you to inscribe your name in the list at the provincial chambers of medical doctor, and if you want to be selected to be working in the public hospitals. Here, the region, they accept the national law. And now the last achievement that we have, this is a regional call for health research with the complementary medicine with a fund of 1,200,000 euro. And then we work with the anti-COVID pandemic as structures, and we have an accreditation of 6 centers, 6 schools, 5 of homeopathy, 1 of acupuncture. Then the last achievement is the approbation of 2 what we call PDTA, pathway diagnosis and therapeutic for diagnosis and therapeutic assistance in breast cancer, including complementary medicine, and 1 specific for integrative medicine for cancer patient approved just 1 month ago. This is the main priorities of our sector. You see, first one is integrative oncology, then pain control, atopic disease, and childbirth and gender medicine. But above all, in the last few months, COVID pandemic. This is the regional call health research, and we again this ChemoSim project to fight the chemo brain, chemo fog after anti-cancer therapy with homeopathy and rehabilitation, cognitive rehabilitation. This is the PDTL guideline for breast cancer, including homeopathy and complementary medicine. This is integrative medicine for cancer patient. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It is actually an eye-opener to understand the way complementary and in particular homeopathic system of medicine is working in Italy. Thanks a lot for this presentation, sir. Yes. Since I am not seeing any question answers in the chat box, I'll request the chairpersons, Dr. MPRA and Dr. Monica, to kindly enlighten us further regarding this presentation.
I would suggest Dr. Monica to say a few words.
Yes, thank you very much for Elirasi. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and your work, and I'm really pleased about the good process. It's done in Italy. So the homeopathy is not standing by its own, but it's in the company with all complementary medicine. And so you are telling us of the great success of this way of handling the complementary, to integrate the complementary medicine into the conventional medicine. And I think this is a very good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll now hand over the session to my co-moderator, Dr. Anju Jutani, to introduce the further speakers.
Thank you, Dr. Vipin. I now invite Professor Mansoor Ali, who is a professor in Government Homeopathic Medical College, Trivandrum, Kerala. The title of his presentation is Educational Reforms in Homeopathy. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. I think the slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible also?
Yes, sir.
So, a very warm welcome to all. At the outset, I would like to thank the LMHI, the respected chairpersons, and the moderators for giving me an opportunity to share some ideas with you. Need of educational reforms in homeopathy. We will discuss about the purpose of the BHMS and post-graduation, the role of the teacher in the internet era, the role of images and videos, the structured question papers, and the need of the student feedback, the need of the standardized case record across the country, and the need of new topics in BHMS and PG. According to the Central Council of Homeopathy, the purpose of undergraduation is to produce a competent homeopathic physician who is capable of functioning independently and effectively. Now, the respected teachers and students, just introspect whether our students are capable of functioning independently and effectively immediately after the BHMS. And the maximum emphasis shall be placed on the applied aspect of all the subjects. That's a criteria given by the Central Council of Homeopathy. That means from anatomy to repertory on the applied aspect. If we are teaching the hamstring muscle, we have to teach about the remedy ammonium muriaticum that has some specific action on the hamstring muscle. If you are teaching about the left coronary artery, then we have to teach them together the importance of the remedy spigelia that has a definite action in the left coronary artery. And the third point, the patient-oriented teaching and learning from the second BHMS onwards. But unfortunately, in many of the homeopathic medical colleges, even in the final year, simple theoretical lectures. Now, the purpose of post-graduation, according to the Central Council of Homeopathy, first one, professional development. That means to create competent, skilled practitioners. And the second criteria, to create good quality teachers, since we don't have M.Ed or B.Ed courses in homeopathy as in other streams. So to create good quality teachers. And the third one, to develop research aptitude among the postgraduate students. Now my humble request to all teachers and students, just introspect whether we are meeting the purpose of the UG and PG. And a background, and that's very interesting also. Only 4 candidates qualified in the Ayush National Eligibility Test for the PhD fellowship or senior research fellowship last time. The pass mark, that is a 55% mark. Only 4 candidates from homeopathy. 92 candidates qualified in Ayurveda and 5 candidates qualified even from Siddha. So that's the scenario. Now what about the All India Ayush postgraduate entrance examination? In 2018, the total candidates appeared, that's about 6,755. But only 491 candidates got 50% mark. In 2019, out of 7,376, only 297 candidates got the 50% pass mark. So that's the scenario. But in 2020, the result is marvelous. Out of 7,398 candidates, 50th percentile mark scored by 3,694. So what may be the reason for that? Because of the entrance coaching centers across India, organized by various homeopathic medical colleges, the professional organizations in homeopathy, and also by the private sector team. So that means if you are giving good quality input, good quality education, we will definitely get good quality students and practitioners. Now coming soon, the National Teachers Eligibility Test and also the exit examination for the BHMS graduates. Immediately after the BHMS, they have to appear for this examination. This is a nationwide examination. Only after that they will get the registration to practice. Now just think about the fate of our students. Now how many hours a student spending inside the classroom? And that is also very, very interesting. 4,500 hours inside the classroom plus 1 year internship during the BHMS. And during the post-graduation, a student is spending about 6,550 hours inside the campus. Now, my dear teachers and PGs and undergraduate students, just introspect whether we had utilized this much of hours, both the teachers and students, whether we have utilized this much of hours effectively or not. Now the professional college teaching, that is something different from that of arts and science college teaching. That mainly involves 3 elements. The first one, knowledge. Cognitive, that is active, constructive, and long lasting, that means till death. And the second one, the skill, the psychomotor, We are teaching some skills like how to insert an IV line, how to remove a catheter, like that. And the third one that is very, very important in homeopathic medical colleges also, the attitude, the heart and mind. That means the application level teaching should be there in professional colleges like homeopathic medical colleges. We have to see in front of us as a clinician or a practitioner while we are teaching for the BHMS or the postgraduate students. Remember, the syllabus is only an outline. So, an application level teaching, we have to see in front of us a clinician or a practitioner while taking classes. Now this is very interesting. In this digital age of Guru Purnima, thank you for everything Google. I search and you give me unconditional sea of information. Everything in the fingertip of the students. More reliable and updated information than that of a teacher. Now the role of a teacher is very tough. So that's the situation. So what happened to the ambassador, the Kodak or Nokia? They failed to cope up with the advancement in their concerned field. Nokia, they failed to adapt to this Android technology. The ambassador, same model every year. So if you are not updating regularly, we will become outdated. So my dear teachers, keep upgrading your skill. Now in the classroom, the presenter must be the center of attraction, not the audiovisual aids. In majority of the homeopathic medical colleges, the audiovisual aids are the center of attraction. And the teachers, they have to make their own contribution, and the slides must supplement, but not as a substitute. And some common mistakes in our classrooms. The audience, the PGs or the teachers, sorry, the presenter or the PG, those who are presenting the seminar, always looking at the screens constantly. So never look at the laptop constantly, and no breach presentation inside the classroom, especially if you are writing something on the blackboard. And never copy the paragraphs also. That's a mistake by majority of the postgraduate scholars and some teachers, just to copy paragraphs from the textbook or from the internet. Now this is very, very interesting. The average learning retention rate. If you are lecturing in a classroom, the learning retention rate is only 5%. But see the bottom of the pyramid. Practice by doing, the learning retention rate is about 75%. So the practice by doing, that's what we are actually doing in professional colleges. We are teaching some skills and the teaching others, that means the learning retention rate is 90%. So we have to concentrate on the bottom of the pyramid. Now the videos and images, keep text to the minimum while taking the classes, because the pictures and videos are worth 1,000 words. And all the cases or the seminars presented by the postgraduate students or the interns should supplemented with some cases or research findings. See, they will never forget the students will never forget the deltoid if you are teaching like this. RNA single stranded, DNA double stranded. They will get the concept. So this is the slide we are using for the entrance coaching. The multiple choice question, which one is correct? A method. And this is a slide we are using for the postgraduate students. At the time of giving the synopsis or proposal, our aim or objective or vision may be as on the left image. But if you are not doing a proper literature review, or if you are not following the correct methodology, at the end of the thesis, the PG post graduation or the PhD, your thesis may look like this. So they will get the concept. So this is the slide we can utilize for teaching the individualization. Every individual has its own some perceptions, so that we have to identify. See, a beauty of teaching the practice of medicine like this. All the complaints of the spine in a single slide. The student will get the concept. See, the importance of taking the X-ray. See the images on the above and below. Importance of the taking the X-ray in different views like the AP and lateral. So it is a desire of every student that their teacher will give them some meaningful learning experience that will help them to face the challenges in the life. Not merely a theoretical lecture. Teachers need to share their knowledge, share their experience. And majority of the postgraduates or the teachers are using the same topic, the same notes and the same slides throughout their service, and that is not good. And need of some new topics in the BHMS syllabus, like the job opportunities in India and abroad, case taking in different clinical situations like the IPD, OPD, or during this continuing medical education programs like that. Then how to set up and promote your clinic. We have to give a clear-cut idea about that. And the research opportunities and placement in the research field in India and abroad. Detailed study of all the homeopathic softwares and mobile applications. Now currently, lot of highly useful mobile applications are available in the Android and iOS. And the importance of the accessory management and emergency management and training for the competitive examinations like the national level PG entrance examinations or the AyushNet. And the eighth point that is also very important. We need a streamlined organon philosophy textbook. Now the students are in total confusion. Different philosophy textbook, adding some of them are contradictory to each other also. That adding total confusion among the students. So the council need to have a single streamlined philosophy textbook. Now we must have an orientation program to the first BHMS itself. What that means, what after BHMS? They must get a clear-cut idea in the first BHMS itself. What after BHMS? See the famous words of Stephen Covey. To begin with the end in mind means start with a clear-cut understanding of your destination. That means what after BHMS? It means to know where you are going so that you better understand where you are now so that the steps you take are always in the right direction. And the feedback, always collect the feedback from the students every year, both UG and PG, because that the feedback allow you to check whether you are meeting your goals of your teaching or not, and never force them to write their name or roll number in the feedback form. Then they will not never give the negative feedback. Now something interesting about the case record also, we need a standardized case record. The current case record by different departments like the gynecology, obstetricism, then the anatomy, the repertory, materia medica, etc. That add total confusion among the students. So we need a standardized case record across India to avoid the students' confusion and the claim of cure, and also for the statistical data also. And the salary of teachers, that is also very important. We will never get good quality of teachers without a handsome salary, but salary is not only the important criteria, because in majority of the government colleges they are getting good salary, but the academic output and the research output is comparatively very low in some government college teachers. And we need a structured question papers and also conducting the structured viva voce and practical examination. Current examination is simply testing the memory of the students, but that should be in a structured form, and the need of an improvement in the assessment criteria also. Now, my dear teachers and PGs, motivate your students beyond the syllabus, beyond the boundaries, and beyond the campus. For example, we are teaching only 261 remedies in our materia medica syllabus for BHMS, but in homeopathy, more than 3,500 remedies are there. All these medicines are used by the practitioners. Likewise, in cancer repertory, we have only 64,000 rubric. But in the modern repertory, like the complete repertory by Roger Van Zandvoort, that contain more than 211,000 rubrics are there. So the teachers are facilitators of self-learning, then dictators of prefabricated notes. So motivate our students beyond the syllabus and beyond the boundaries and beyond the campus. Some good resources. If anybody would like to become a good teacher, the medicalteacher.org that provide lot of information, and the facultyfocus.com. And every teacher and the PG student must read this book by the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science. That's a wonderful book. What is not taught in medical colleges? So these are all the consulted works. So far we have discussed about the purpose of BHMS and PG, the role of teacher in the internet era, the role of images and videos, why we need a structured examination pattern, and the need of the student feedback, the need of a standardized case record, and the need of new topics in BHMS syllabus. And that's all for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it's a very good presentation, and you have very well understood the requirements of students and very well explained. Now I would like to request the chairs to please enlighten us further on this subject.
Dr. Monica, would you like to add something?
Yes,
Please.
I just want to thank you for the heartful speech for education. I think you're a great teacher and professor, and I think it's really great. And I agree that good education is the point, is the clue of everything, is the key. But I was wondering, in India, they don't do teaching by book, by repertory books, just by using the electronic repertories?
No, 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 no.
No. Okay, so I was just wondering. So I got this wrong.
No.
Because okay, because in Germany we have in this area where I come from the Hahnemann area from Leipzig, and our people are very they don't allow to use the electronic repertories before they know the books. So it's
Very
the same in
very
India,
true.
isn't it?
Very true.
So it's
Very
okay.
true.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something, Dr. MPR?
No, it's all right. She has done wonderfully. My compliments to Dr. Mansoor Ali for a very, very enlightening topic. He has covered entire educational field, what is there and what is to be done. And my compliments to him. We will take all the speakers first, and then we'll have a talk whether it will be better. Otherwise,
Okay.
we will not get time for speakers to speak. Please.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Okay. I would like to invite Professor Shashikant Tiwari, Director of Dr. Tiwari Home Clinic, and he is a very well-known teacher and author. The topic of his presentation is Bonninghausen and Vogel's Spinal General Repertory. Welcome you, sir. Over to you.
So I must thank the organizers, LMHI, and moderators and the chairperson. One among chairperson is Dr. MP Arya, who is directly, he has taken class for us. I am proud to be a student, and Dr. Mona, and all my colleagues, speakers, and participants. I'm going to present you something new concept, Boger Bonninghausen Final General Repertory. The slides will explain the things. Boger Bonninghausen Final Repertory is a compilation work from all the publications of these great authors on repertory and mathematica. It is an outcome of extensive literary and clinical research work by a team of dedicated and highly educated homeopaths who accomplished it by going through the academic and clinical records as well as verifying them through different references, keeping in mind its academic and clinical relevance as well as utility in finding out similar. What was the need? Why should we have such things since everything is available nowadays in computer? Need is Bonninghausen and Boger has several books on repertory. The last book, that was second edition of Boger Bonninghausen characteristic repertory, was published in 1935. This work being the last publication of Boger and supposed to be having all the informations of Boger as well as Bonninghausen's, but it is different. The fact is not the truth. The book like Synoptic Key, Times of Remedies, Moon Phases, General Analysis, Therapeutic Pocketbook, and other books contain many useful rubrics and their corresponding remedies which are not represented well or partially represented in BBCR. The sole objective of Boger Bonninghausen Final General Repertory is to bring all these invaluable informations at one place to make an useful repertory based on purely on Boger and Bonninghausen's work. So we have taken into account of all their literary work, and we found there were 10 sources. One is Episodic Repertory, Therapeutic Pocketbook, Synoptic Key, Times of Remedies, Moon Phases, additions to Kent Repertory by Boger, Bonninghausen's Lesser Writings, Boger's Card Repertory and General Analysis, Healing Principles by Boger, Characteristic Materia Medica by Bonninghausen, Synoptic Key Materia Medica, and Collective Writings by Robert Venner. So the purpose is take all these books and compile all these useful rubrics and information to make one as Boger Boningerson final general repertory. How that is done? Information from all these 12 sources are added to bogus Boningerson characteristic and repertory as per the following guidelines. The medicines mentioned in the higher marks will remain in the same intensity when they are combined and merged at appropriate places. The rubric contains only a single medicine in other books should be placed in a higher rank. The new rubrics from above sources will be placed in appropriate chapter and at proper place. From synoptic key, the medicines mentioned in 3 marks, that is capital letter, will change into 5 marks capital letter, 2 marks that bold letters will change to 4 marks bold letters, and 1 mark ordinary Roman to 2 marks ordinary Roman in BVCR. The new rubrics are medicines from other sources will carry numbers on the head of the rubric or the medicine that is called citation. So it will carry the citation for references. From times of remedies to the time modality of related sections. From moon phases, the rubrics will go to the general modalities. Example, I will tell you. From synoptic key, if you refer to mind section, the rubric absence of. In BBCR, it has 78 medicines, whereas the same rubric in synoptic key has only 11 medicines. Though it is only 11 medicines, but the group of medicines mentioned in synoptic key has 2 extra medicines, Asarum and Laurocerisis. They are not given BBCR. So these medicines are added in bold letters. Epis mellifica is mentioned in bold letters. Yeah, so I was giving some example which was taken from synoptic key and merged with the BBCR. Like that, from times of anxiety attack, chamomilla, sulfur is added in BBCR as a new rubric under periodicity, under anxiety rubric. Depression, periodicity is added under depression rubric as a new rubric, aurum and conium. Forgetful of short duration, nux moscata is added under rubric, memory, poor, weak, forgetful, etc. as a subrubric periodical. So these are many informations which are lying here and there, which are brought and finalized in BBCR. Like mental debility, conium is given, this rubric is given under mind section, hence it was referred to cross-reference chapter, which direct us to refer sensation and complaints in general under the main rubric, weakness. So like that, it was taken from Times of Remedies. Now, from synoptic, we have found that there are few rubrics which are not mentioned in BBCR. So they were also taken and accommodated as per their terms, like as alphabetically. So like fatigue, mental, insensible, unconscious, joyous, learns with difficulty, learns easily, moaning, defense takes, placid, tranquil, pride. I'm not going to read all this. So there were some rubrics which were not present in BBCR but present in synoptic key repertory. So which were also taken and merged in BBCR. From materia medica sections also we have taken and enriched our BBCR, like dreams of snake. I was surprised to see dreams of snake. It is a well-known rubric and symptom in materia medica, and people know about lachesis. But even in Kent repertory, even in BBCR repertory, it is not mentioned. Even in synoptic repertory, it is not mentioned under the dream snake. So I was trying to find out the source. We found that in synoptic materia medica, dreams of snake is given under the materia medica lachesis. So we have gone through each medicines of synoptic key and all the missing rubrics were brought into BBCR. So it is mentioned from synoptic key. Just like that, there is one mathematical given just before the starting of Boger repertory, that is called Boger's characteristic and repertory. So in characteristic mathematica also we found, like, desire for cold food is not mentioned under the rubric desire food cold, but it is mentioned in characteristic mathematica in thusa, hence added in italics. And then in this book, since all mathematica informations are transferred, the mathematica portion from characteristic repertory will be removed, because each and every symptom of mathematica also is converted into repertory in BBCR. I'll give you an example. In original BBCR, let us take the chapter Mind, rubric Weeping. So this is the original BBCR which we have not changed. Now, when we accumulate all informations and put under the rubric in Boninghausen Boger Boninghausen final general repertory, it comes like this. And here you see, on the head of the medicine, we have given some marks. So suppose weeping anger with, endim tart is given 3. So 3 means it has come from synoptic key repertory. Like that, numbers are given. So there are 11 numbers. So you find here 3, like that, somewhere they like 10. Weeping disposition 10. 10 is a characteristic mathematica, is a part of our BBCR. So like that, each and every medicine which are added and each and every rubric which are added, they have citation and we can verify it easily. So the whole information becomes more and more authentic. Like this inward weeping 11, which is not given in the repertory BBCR, but it is given in synoptic materia medica portion. Looked at, it is not given in repertory part, but it is given synoptic materia medica and crudum. So like that, several rubrics have been added, and the book has become enriched with a lot of rubrics and new medicines. Like in Boninghausen characteristic repertory, mind concomitant, it's only just a group of medicines given, and which was one of the criticism point for BBCR always. People used to say, though he has given characteristic concomitants in each and every portion, but why he has not given in mind? So he has given at several places. So all the informations were brought, and see the new concomitant rubric in final general repertory. So we have, see, abdominal symptoms with, abdominal pain with, active, busy, inclined to work, though with physical prostration, anxiety, agony, perspiration with, 10 sources 10. So like that, each and every rubric we have given and giving the citation also. So this book rubric becomes a large rubric and very useful rubric. Like gastric disturbance with, gentle, mild, loquacity with, sleepiness with. So all these concomitant symptoms come and they will become a part of this final general repertory. So my dear friends, participants and chairperson, my request is, so many books and so many informations are available at different places. But for educational purpose, we have to make education material better and perfect, as was the wish of our master Hanuman. And this is the 6th edition's anniversary we are celebrating. And this is the proper time that we think that all information from Boger and Boninghausen, which were lying here and there, has to be brought at one place, and students are to be more given orientation on this Boger and Boninghausen method. Because what I have noticed is the useful pathological generals, the useful principles of Boger and Boninghausen are not very well used in our practice because students are not aware of it. So my request to all the teachers to see that all these information which are brought in Boger and Bonninghausen Journal Repertory should become useful, and you please accept this presentation. And if you have anything to suggest me, I'm open with all the suggestions to make this book really good and useful for the students and practitioners. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. A very informative and useful presentation. We'll have discussions after all the speakers are presented. I now invite Dr. Ventiles, a consultant at Hellenic Association of Homeopathic Medical Cooperation, Greece. And the topic of his presentation is a model for successful introductory courses in homeopathy. Over to you, sir.
The presentation, I have to note from the beginning, it is shortened in order to fit the time that is available. Cannot change the slides.
Yes, sir.
The great importance of introductory courses for spreading homeopathy has been given little attention up to date, and there are no clear guidelines for the subject. The efforts to spread homeopathy are directed, our efforts to spread homeopathy are directed towards patients on one hand. The success depends on the quality of the professionals involved in this process, and towards health professionals on the other. The success depends on how attractive homeopathy will appear to them, to the new professionals. Introductory courses are the most crucial ones for spreading homeopathy to the community of health professionals. Any course's success depends on its content, but equally it depends on the way it is presented. And this has to do with didactics and rhetoric. Successful teaching outcome presupposes well-defined aims. The aim of an introductory course is to spread homeopathy by presenting it to all different professionals involved as being attractive, impressively effective, simple, and easy to learn. Due to natural laws that govern homeopathy's action and due to its phenomenological approach to the patient, simplicity is a characteristic of homeopathy itself and should be a characteristic of its teaching also. Simplicity in teaching means easiness to understand, easiness to accept, and easiness to assimilate. It seems appropriate to begin the course presenting the impressive results of homeopathy, and this is what the students come for, and this is why homeopathy exists. Visual information is considered to be more attractive from the very ancient times, more influencing, and also easier memorized. Accordingly, video cases of otherwise incurable patients seem to be the best choice for homeopathic results presentation and the best way to start the course. Relative pictures can be used additionally or alternatively, and we know that one picture values more than 1,000 words. The students' own experiences of homeopathic treatment results can follow, and this is equally convincing to the rest of the audience. Instructions for using remedies for acute accidental conditions like arnica, apis, and ignatia involve the students' active clinical participation in practice from the very first day, and this acts as an additional convincing element. Professional horizons and future career should be highlighted appropriately, and this is a key interest for the most of the participants. It is well known from didactics, that it is easier to modify an existing and familiar knowledge than to build a new and unfamiliar one to an audience. Assimilation of new information becomes easier when it is built upon the already existing and familiar one. Similarities and mutually complementary elements between homeopathic and classical medical approach should be emphasized appropriately. After the first half of the course, it can be useful to know which of the participants have or have not been convinced and whether their expectations are fulfilled and to what extent, in order to readjust the rest of the course according to the answers. The same evaluation can be done at the end of the course in order to readjust the design of the next courses, next introductory courses. Rhetoric is the art of making any presentation attractive and convincing also, targeting both the logic and the emotions of the audience. Rhetoric can be used properly for highlighting the real advantages of homeopathy for its suffering individual, for the community itself, and for the practitioner's professional satisfaction and professional career. The traditional teacher-student role, known as sage on the stage, seems to be more suitable for an introductory course. The main aim of an introductory course is to create or increase the motivation and the interest of the participants to continue, and not at this stage, I mean during an introductory course, to increase their self-learning abilities or their cooperating abilities. The way of teaching in an introductory course, however, should be flexible and not absolute or authoritative. Individualization is a well-known characteristic of homeopathic practice. It is also important in homeopathic teaching for an introductory course. It is useful if all personal reasons for and expectations from coming to the course are known from before and satisfied or answered during the course. For example, inclination for novelties for one person, curiosity, widening the existing medical knowledge for another person, inadequacies of conventional medical practice, positive personal homeopathic experiences, feeling of duty to learn more about medicine, desire just to learn about homeopathy, desire to become a professional, etc. All those expectations and motivations to come to the course have to be satisfied at the end. Individualization has to do as well with the ways each of the participants can be more easily convinced. For example, facts or evidence for one person or attractive theories for another person, etc. It also has to do, individualization also has to do with the choice of teachers for each stage and for each subject of the course. At the end of the course, the students are expected to know as completely as possible what homeopathy is and to be interested and convinced about it. And second, to be able to inform others, patients, public health professionals, authorities, etc., objectively and appropriately for each of them about homeopathy. The course should be presented in such an inspiring way that at the end of the course, the participants feel as followers of homeopathy. Whatever presented in an introductory course is better assimilated by the participants and also better memorized if it is short as possible, but also including everything that the mentioned aims demand. The shorter the course, the more people are attracted, but also more time of preparation is needed to make it succeed its aims. According to their importance for accomplishing the aims of the course, Each of the following issues should be given the appropriate part of time hierarchically. Video or well-documented paper cases of otherwise incurable patients. Short and simple definition of homeopathy, not exceeding the 1 minute, proper to be used by the participants when informing others. Similarities and differences from classical medicine. Holistic view of the patient due to the holistic action of homeopathic remedies. Homeopathy to be presented as individualized medicine. Diseases that can be treated by homeopathy. This is the most frequent question asked in an introductory course. Basic principles that guide and explain homeopathic practice. Homeopathic remedies, short presentation of sources and preparation, short presentation. Presentation and reasons for the differences between homeopathic case taking and the classical medical one. Groups of homeopathic literature that exist. Short and mainly attractive examples of materia medica pictures, both acute and chronic. Short presentation of research status. Legal status locally in the country and internationally. Short presentation of Hahnemann's scientific life. And reading homeopathic prescriptions. And thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sir. A very appropriate presentation. I would like to invite Dr. C.J. Varghese. He is the patron of International Forum for Promoting Homeopathy and has conducted many workshops on German New Medicine. The title of his presentation is Homeopathic Education, Practice and Research should be founded on the truth that all diseases emerge from dynamic levels only. Welcome, sir. Over to you. Yes, sir. Screen is visible.
Thank you for introducing me. I'm Dr. C.J. Varghese. Today's my topic is homeopathic education, practice and research should be founded on this truth that all diseases emerge from the dynamic levels only. Let us think about the human dynamism. All holistic systems of medicine include homeopathy and understands the man beyond matter. Accordingly, all natural diseases develop only from the spiritual realms and are manifested on the mental or physical planes, which we call as diseases. Of course, the conditions following trauma, poisoning, or malnutrition are not included in the category of natural diseases. We all know about the hierarchy of things, spiritual to mental to physical, or reverse, physical then mental to spiritual. So we are talking about the subtle body and gross body. And in Indian philosophy, we talk about the Sushma Sharira and Stula Sharira. So we are going forward discussing health dynamics. Spirit is this energy aspect of a soul or vital principle. Vital force is the force of the spiritual vital principle. Vital force emerges from the vital.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. So you can move the slides are not used on the first slide. You can kindly advance the slides.
The slides are not moving?
No, they're not moving, sir. You can put in the presentation mode and then the slide and then move it forward.
Are you seeing the slides?
We are seeing the slide. It is only the first slide which is visible as of now.
It's not moving.
Yeah. So you can put it in the presentation mode and then put the cursor and it will move.
Is it okay?
No,
Is it
sir,
moving?
not yet.
Sir, we are still seeing only the first slide.
Okay. My internet is okay. Usually it happens when the internet connection is poor.
No, sir. The internet the connectivity is fine. On your screen, you can first put it in the presentation mode. There would be a presentation mode on the right hand. Yeah.
Right side. Yes, yes, sir. That's the.
Now it is moving. Now you come to the second slide now.
Is it?
Yeah. Now we're on the second slide.
Moving? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So should I repeat? No. Okay, sir. Thank you. Human dynamism we are talking about. All holistic systems of medicine, including homeopathy, understands the man beyond matter. We all understand that the human or the man is not simply his material body only. According to all natural diseases develop only from the spiritual realms and are manifested on the mental or physical planes. The conditions following a trauma or poisoning or malnutrition are not natural diseases. So we are talking about a hierarchy that is spiritual to mental to physical. Or we all know about the subtle body and the gross body. In Indian philosophy, we are talking about the Sushma Sharira to Sthula Sharira, like that. So let's go forward with understanding of what exactly is the health dynamics. You all know that the spirit is the energy aspect of a soul or vital principle. Vital force is the force of the spiritual vital principle. Vital force is emerging from the vital principle, animates, rules, retains all parts of the human organism in harmony. So we call it as health dynamics. Or for vital operations, for higher purpose of existence, then we say that the person is in a healthy state or he is healthy. Vital principle does not undergo change. It does not take birth. It does not become sick. It does not become die, or it does not die. So it is equal to the soul for the believers. Derivation of the vital force is the only cause of all natural diseases. I told vital force is the energy aspect of the vital principle. Deviation of the vital force, that is a dynamic vital force, can happen only with the dynamic influences on it. We call it as miasms. This dynamic deviation in the dynamic vital force only can cause mental as well as physical changes, which we call as diseases. Therefore, it may be called as disease dynamics, manifesting on mind and body as diseases. So in homeopathy, we talk about the drug dynamics. Restoration of this deviated dynamic vital force can be done only by another dynamic force or dynamic influence. Diseases are to be understood as a nature's program. Diseases are age-old programs of nature installed in every human being with a biological purpose to support the organisms during unexpected distress. This will take away from us the negative understanding about the disease. These programs are kick-started by every dynamic conflict the organism undergoes and proceed to produce specific predetermined signs and symptoms called diseases. Today's homeopaths failed to recognize this. All those subsequent changes happening both in the mind and body are called diseases, and they help the survival, development, and evolution of human organisms. According to the conventional medicine, all diseases are abnormal, negative, or malignant disorders or malfunctions without any rational purpose because it is purely based on materialism. Full of irrational and dogmatic theories, it considers human organism as a machine and puts everything under the parameters of material science. Accordingly, nature is inimical to its own creations and diseases are errors of nature according to the so-called modern medicine, the conventional medicine. All holistic medical modalities that are based on dynamic or spiritual truths are considered by conventional medicine as pseudosciences, non-sciences, or even nonsenses because they lack the essential criterion of evidence based according to their parameters. Truths are born not in the laboratories of the world, but in the laboratories of the mind. We all know that. They ignore that human organism possesses an inexhaustible creativity and remarkable self-healing capabilities. They created fear of diseases in the minds of the people. It is the most unfortunate fact that the homeopathic medical education of modern times uses the same materialistic pattern of conventional medical system to explain health, disease, and cure. Homeopaths sacrifice the fundamental principles of homeopathy due to their ignorance, complexes of inferiority, false pride, or greed to share their positions abreast with the so-called scientists of modern medicine.
Sorry
Homeopathy
to
is...
interrupt you, sir.
Pardon?
Sir, we are on the 6th slide now. So we haven't moved any slide after that.
I don't know why it happens again. I am starting it the same day.
I guess you need to click on every slide as you are talking about it.
Okay. Should I go back?
Sir, you can just click on that particular slide and you can continue, sir. If the chairpersons are okay with or...
Are you seeing this slide number 6 now?
So we are on to slide number 10 now. And
Dr. Varghese, you go on speaking.
Thank you, sir.
Take the slide which you are talking. Yeah,
Okay.
you have to change. You have to change the slide.
So my point I wish to bring to your notice is that from my own experience of the younger generations, homeopaths sacrifice the fundamental principles of homeopathy due to their ignorance, either complexes of inferiority, false pride, or greed to share their positions abreast with the so-called scientists of modern medicine. It is the most which I was telling. Okay. Are you seeing 10th slide?
yes, sir, this is okay.
Okay. So homeopathy is being derided and excommunicated for being dynamic and spiritual by the so-called modern medicine. If a purely materialistic explanation of man is all what is in medical science, then homeopathy cannot and should not be packed in that carton. In no case, the principles of homeopathy should be surrendered, and this identity is going to be the reason behind the widespread acceptance of homeopathy in the future world. The so-called COVID-19 pandemic proved the insufficiency and failure of this materialistic approach.
So you can click on slide 12. You are on slide 12. You can click on slide 12. 1, 2.
This is, I will. Okay. With an impartial and realistic analysis, anyone can discover the shocking information that 80% of the present day homeopathic medical education and hence the practice and research in homeopathy are based on the materialistic theories of modern medicine. I had worked as a member of the Central Council of Homeopathy and its education committee under the Government of India for 8 years. And I can prove this by evaluating the syllabi and the curricula of studies. This fact is not easily understandable and hence goes unnoticed by the decision-making authorities. This happened due to the undeletable historical reasons, and hence the pioneers in these fields can be pardoned for making use of the same templates then available at the disposal of the conventional medicine. Homeopaths all over the world could not assertively and emphatically state that homeopathy does not believe in the microbial theory or immune system. They are not in tune with the theories of homeopathy, just to compromise with allopathy only. Instead, homeopaths all believe that viruses can make people sick and kill. They distributed homeo immune boosters to prevent COVID-19 pandemic and could not proclaim that arsenicum album or any other genus epidemicus remedies are not to kill viruses. It could cure the fear of pandemic. Majority of homeopaths believed in the RT-PCR test and could not effectively resist from being vaccinated. It's high time that homeopathic education, practice and research should be re-established with its foundation firmly fixed on its unshakable dynamic principles and never to yield or surrender to forces or temptations of material principles of conventional medicine. By the denial of the dynamism and spirituality of human organism, allopathy is on the wrong path. Homeopathy should continue to stride through the paths of truth and remain always pure and humanitarian. How I could tell these things emphatically and with the desire to impress upon my colleagues in the homeopathy profession is because I could meet with the latest medical science in the history called German New Medicine in the year 2008. It was discovered by another German postgraduate medical doctor, Dr. I.K.J. Hammer, supported by his 30 years of medical research and about 40,000 well-documented cases. He has given the most rational explanation for health, disease, and cure, very much agreeable with the dynamism of homeopathy. I am learning it intensely since 2013, and I have already verified it by incorporating to about my 5,000 clinical cases. According to these 5 biological laws of nature, the fundamental principles of German new medicine, all natural diseases are caused by conflicts in the psyche. He called all diseases as age-old special biological programs of nature created for our survival. So GNM is full of revolutionary knowledge. The signs and symptoms happening at 3 levels of psyche, the brain and the body during the conflict active phase, following a psychic conflict and conflict healing phase, following its resolution are in reality the phenomenon called disease. All so-called psychiatric diseases and mood disorders are also caused by psychic conflicts and not by the abnormal brain chemistry as the allopathic science tells us. Microbes cannot and do not cause diseases, but instead play vital role during the healing processes. No diseases are contagious according to GNM. Immune system theory is a fabricated one. So this is how German new medicine goes and the revolutionary knowledge of Dr. Hammer given to the world. No one will die of cancers, but anybody can die of the fear of cancers and wrong treatments, including chemotherapy. Carcinogen theory and the metastasis theory are wrong. Genetic disease theory is wrong. Toxins theory and diet theory are wrong. Heart attacks are not caused by the blockage in the coronary arteries. Strokes are not caused by the cerebrovascular accident. Allergy is a myth. Like that, it goes and goes. So this knowledge is already spread across some 50 countries in the world. It is known to about 1 lakh Indians, majority of whom are homeopaths, who utilize this new knowledge in their practice and share it with their patients. They appreciate its rationality, inherent values, and benefits for the mankind, like freedom from the scare of diseases. About 3,000 people are learning GNM under my guidance since 2013. So this is my last slide. This is my conclusion. I fully endorse the discoveries of Dr. Hammer as true, and I can present thousands of my clinical cases in any wider platform in future. I can proclaim from my experience that GNM can justifiably replace the conventional medical knowledge being used currently by homeopaths in their medical practice, in their medical training. I propose for advanced studies, research, and utilization of German new medicine in the whole world, led by all authorities who regulate the homeopathic medical education, practice, and research, discarding, at least gradually, its allegiance with the purely materialistic conventional medicine called as old medicine by German new medicine. So thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, GNM has helped us in better understanding of the patient and homeopathic prescribing. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Rajendranath Wahi. He is an associate professor at Dr. M.L. Dhavle Memorial Homeopathic Institution, India, and he is the president of South Delhi Homeopathic Association. So we are sharing your slide, and then you can start.
First of all, my compliments to LMHI for accepting the presentation. Number 2, a correction should be made by Dr. Anju Rani.
Yeah.
It was professor in M.L. Dhavle Trust. I am actually the chairman of the organizing committee of the South Delhi Homeopathic Association.
Okay. Okay, sir.
That correction is
needed. Right, sir.
Right?
Thank you.
So can we go to the next slide now? Next slide, please. Or let me try to share screen myself, and maybe you can start.
Should I?
Vipin, I think better if you should.
So should I do it for you, or you can do it in case you?
No, I will try to do myself. That would be better, I think.
Okay, I'll stop share, and we'll give you the rights. Right.
Please. Now, is it okay now?
Sir, I've given you the rights. Now you can share screen.
So you have to share your screen. Yeah.
Yes. Now it's okay, I think.
Yes.
And I will go straight to just to
full screen.
Participant can now see the application. Okay. I will do it one by one. It is not moving, so I will do it from here.
Yes, you click on the slide, sir.
So I will move straight to the subject because the time has been reduced from 10 minutes to 7 minutes. My thing is, why the need for reforms? I say it's an urgent need, but why say why the need? The pandemic of SARS-CoV-2, popularly designated as COVID-19, has taught us the need to have an introspection about where the health system went wrong. This also involves exploring the opportunities for homeopathy for its role to emerge as an important system of medicine in the healthcare management. It's important to understand how we see when I'm doing that thing. So what is my basis? India's success story. India took head-on challenge to face the pandemic and involved Ayush systems, wherein homeopathy and other systems were also utilized. Arsenic album-30 played an important role as a preventive, and other medicines helped in positive cases. Comparing our population in relation to other developed countries, the fatalities in India have been proportionately much lower. The Times of India on 10th of November 2021 reported that India has entered into pact with 96 countries for recognition of vaccine certificates, and WHO accorded certificate. This has gone somewhere. Just a minute, let me go to the. And WHO accorded approval to Covaxin, and Indian produced vaccine. Phase 3 trials of this vaccine have been reported in Lancet. Now, coming to India's success story continued. India is known as hub of homeopathy. It's also known as the pharmacy of the world during COVID-19 pandemic, with its vast experience and deep knowledge in medicine. A quote of Shri Narendra Modi, as mentioned in the souvenir of the World Homeopathic Day in 2016, what it mentions is holistic healthcare remains a very big attraction. Best of the doctors are moving towards homeopathy. There is a mood for holistic healthcare. There is a mood to go towards the stress-free life from a successful life. Dr. Peter Hotez, Dean of the School of Tropical Medicine at Bayer College of Medicine in Houston, in a webinar which was organized by Indo-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Houston titled COVID-19 Vaccination and Potential Return to Normalcy, If and When. That was the theme. In that theme, he mentioned India's huge efforts in combating global pandemic is a story that's not really getting out in the world. This was based on his basis of weekly teleconference with his colleagues in India. He mentioned that India's vaccine rollout rescued the world from pandemic. So, what we analyze from this? The experience of second wave of COVID-19 prompted the South Delhi Homeopathic Association to devote its 29th annual event known as Ken Memorial Lectures on working the strategies for future. The event titled as Homeo Vision 2030, Introspect, Evolve, Reform, that was selected in tune with the government's policy towards integration of healthcare systems. The learned speakers shared their experience in delivering the integrated healthcare, at the same time maintaining the principles of organon. They also shared their views on future strategies. Such a healthcare system would provide a balanced approach between the traditional systems of medicine in different countries and the conventional system, modern medicine as it is understood generally. Under this planning, on one hand, the technological advancements shall need to be adopted by all systems of medicine to keep pace with the changing times, but also not to deviate from the fundamental principles of the system. Rig Veda mentions, let noble thoughts come to us from all sides. And Dr. R.P. Patel mentions, each case that we take is a new world we enter. So now what are the essentialities for an integrated approach in healthcare? So we could find that number one, there has to be uniformity in concept of health and disease and planning and the curriculum. This is another, which has to be at different levels. Proper application of theory and practice, laying more stress on OPD, or I would put it minimizing the disconnect between the theory and the practice. Participation in community medicine, uniformity in clinics infrastructure at individual, NGO, or institutional levels, case record keeping, and in other words, proper data management, accreditation system by other agencies according to framed guidelines, credit points system to enable the practitioners to keep them updated, adoption of technology like telemedicine, artificial intelligence, etc., updating with the regulations from time to time. So let us go one by one in slight detail. When we say uniformity, now the understanding of the concept of health and disease, as mentioned by Hanuman from article or from para 9 to 11 into the organon, still remains the most perfect, scientific, and unparalleled even today. Acharya Rajneesh Osho, in a talk given to Medical Association of Ahmedabad, Gujarat in India, mentioned as the foreword in his book, From Medication to Meditation, mentions the science of medicine has so far not been able to achieve anything in the dimension of health is. The reason is that the science of medicine only grasps from outside, only grasps the bodily manifestations from the outside only, and disease can be grasped, or only the outside disease can be grasped. Health can be grasped. Health and disease, as that is mentioned very clearly. Health can be grasped only from that which is within the man, his innermost being and his soul. I feel it is this aspect which needs to be impressed to the World Health Organization to be adopted by it. Then curriculum planning. I remember, because that was my very first year to enter into the practice. And that was there when the first International Homeopathy Conference was held in India in Vigyan Bhavan, 1967, wherein Dr. Diwan Harishan, who was in his presidential address, he said, the need for preparing homeopaths at undergraduate level it is important that as against the postgraduate being. Ek minute, thoda slide move kar gayi hai. Now, what he said, it is important that we produce homeopaths from the undergraduate level as against the postgraduate being followed in the Western countries at that time. And this approach, what he mentioned, has been highly successful in making India as a hub of homeopathy in the globe. In my view, the undergraduate courses may remain at those of 5.5 years duration, but need modification required for integration. The first 2 years should focus on the basic subjects like anatomy, physiology, yoga, meditation, history of medicine, which is in fact a very neglected topic, unfortunately, forensic medicine, organ medicine, nursing, pharmacy, etc. And the next 3.5 years, they should be on applied subjects in different branches as produced physicians with proper updated information about regulations, ethics, etc. The exposure to OPD, IPD must run exhaustively. Only then, as mentioned by the other speakers, we need to be supported by the clinicians, not only by the theoreticians. Then somehow I feel that at present psychiatry is one of the subjects for in MD students. I do not know to what extent it is being applied or needs to be applied in actual practice, while when we are ignoring clinical psychology. My view is we must add clinical psychology as a subject in MD. The text for various subjects, they have to be updated periodically to incorporate and developments taking place gradually. The postgraduate course may continue at present of 3 years duration with the branch a person prefers to adopt. Application, this has to run simultaneously with the theory classes as exposure to OPD as well as IPD. It has to include emergencies. To enable the students to gain confidence, they should be encouraged participation as if they are attending the case independently. The participation in community medicine deserves its due importance not only to prepare healthy human beings, but also as an important tool towards good doctor-patient relationship. In India, clinical establishment has already been passed, and with the regulations in different states, it is in gradual process of implementation. These regulations are common for various systems of medicine. These regulations specify infrastructure for various levels, whether individual, polyclinics, by NGOs, hospitals, colleges, etc. at different levels. Now, this is very important, I feel. If whatever we cannot boast ourselves until that has been confirmed by the other. When other people approve it, only then we can say, yes, we are on the correct lines. So accreditation system help generate competition and improve quality. In such a system, the requisites are framed by quality councils, and there are different boards like NABH, NABL. These bodies are independent in themselves to judge whether one is following guidelines or not. Credit point system is an important to create awareness among practitioners that they have to keep themselves updated with the latest developments in fields. Such a system is already prevalent in certain professions like chartered accountants, wherein it is compulsory for these professionals to attend the seminars, etc., for certain hours in a year to enable their registrations continue. These hours of credit points are decided by an independent body with which the association or the organizing such events are registered. These bodies, depending upon the detailed program, allow the credit points for the CME or a bigger conference. In India, State of Maharashtra has already framed regulations for the medical profession. Similar regulations can be done at national and subsequently at the international level. So in conclusion, I say the Indian model as proposed in the International Homeopathic Congress in 1967 has helped promote growth of homeopathy in India. I also feel that India can play a leading role in promoting homeopathy at the global level, and that LMHI would play a key role in this. The responsibility of LMHI is also to involve the masses in this mission and enable its recognition in different countries. So with this short presentation, I say thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for elaborating on a model of education which we all look forward to. Our next speaker is Dr. Bhavik Ramesh Parikh, and he would be talking on integrated core of effective homeopathic practice. I welcome you, Dr. Parikh. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'll just share my screen. Is it visible and am I audible?
Yes, sir. It's visible and you're audible.
Greetings to the Honorable Chair, the moderators, the speakers and the delegates. My topic for today is the integrated education, the core of effective homeopathic practice. So my plan would be that why this integrated approach is important to evolve successful practitioner, teacher and a researcher. How to derive a syllabus and a curriculum to foster this kind of integrated teaching and in a postgraduate student, and learning the art and science of implementation of integrated curriculum. So what is basically what happens at the end of undergraduate undergraduate teaching is that 12 subjects of BHMS course are introduced in a sequential compartmentalized manner. This knowledge is scattered over 4.5 years. in internship, we are expected to weave the different strands together and work out the case and apply it to the cases to solve them. And integration of various disciplines is needed. However, because we are being taught in a compartmentalized manner, the most of the times the student fails to apply this in practice. What is important is that we need to integrate the homeopathic philosophy with clinical disciplines, Mathematics and repertory. So, what are the difficulties? So, again, they are unable to, at the end of the BHMS, the practice, they are not very confident. The one embarking on his postgraduate training is unable to grasp the holistic concept of homeopathic medicine. And in post graduation, with more and more specialities like psychiatry, medicine, pediatrics, no, we are getting more into individual things rather than understanding the holistic aspect of the homeopathic science. So now, how to bring about this integration very effectively in the academics and in teaching? So what we did is that at our institute, Dr. MLW Institute, we formulated the curriculum. This was took place in 3 steps, where first there was brainstorming between all the departments, and this led to developing 11 broad themes with homeopathy philosophy at the base. The relevant student clinical experience was brought into the classroom, suitably packaged case material and well-defined objectives and assignments were created. Integrated teaching demanded integration of from faculty for all the 6 subjects. And a judicious and a combination of quarterly formative and a summative assessment and student assignment with annual feedback enabled the faculty to review and improve the curriculum and the implementation. So these are the broad themes. That I will not go into the details, but these were the broad 10 themes that were there: man, vital force, health, disease, then artificial disease, portrait of disease. In that, the symptomatology, susceptibility, totality, the repertorial approaches. These were the broad themes that were defined. Now, how these themes get integrated? So suppose if we want to take a theme of a concept of unprejudiced observation in case taking, so how organon, we need the importance of, as Master Henneman highlighted, the importance of the medical observer. In the same way, how is the role of repertory in evolving as an unprejudiced observer? No, it helps in case taking, it helps in removing a bias and understanding the different aspects of a homeopathic case. At the same time, no, when you apply the same concept to materia medica, no, you try to understand that there are so many different medicines that are there, but however we develop our own medicines which are our favorites, and then we see that those medicines come repeatedly in practice. So this prejudice comes over there also. So how this unprejudiced observer can be understood through all these various subjects need to be shown to the students. So same way it happens in symptomatology, organon, materia medica and repertory. So this is the same way that how symptomatology is important from classification of disease to evolving totalities in repertory, repertorization and classification of symptoms helps in understanding of materia medica. So what is the process that we follow? Each department in rotation identifies a case. This preferably is from the experience of the student himself. The case has an evidence-based result. All the departments join together to form what are the themes that emerge out of the case, what learning can be derived out of the case, and this is in the form of objectives circulated to the students beforehand. A set of directives are given which the student works out. Submission of the work is encouraged before the session and feedback is given, and at least one teacher from each department is present during this session. The sessions are discussion based. The students share their views on various aspects to the case, approach and management. A standard key of the case, that the case, how the case has been solved and how the result has come, is circulated. This allows the student to retrospect and introspect where she or he has gone wrong and evolve and develop a thinking process, ask the right question to self and thus evolve as a practitioner. Evaluation report is taken at the end of each session, which helps in understanding what the student has learned, what are the difficulties faced, and which can be addressed in the subsequent sessions. So now I'll take on example of a case, like learning the process of identifying and recording the symptom through the case data, learning to evaluate the symptoms and construct totality, learning the process of conversion of symptom into a rubric, understanding the logic and construction of repertory through engagement in rubric hunting, learning the process of differentiating cozy coming remedies after repertory. So from one case, you can evolve so many concepts. And no, this is what is required in homeopathic practice, to integrate each and every aspect of philosophy, repertory, materia medica, so that the student learns maximum. Now, the directives are accordingly given. So you have to keep the LSMC format, classify the symptoms, analyze the symptoms, choose the appropriate repertorial approach, and differentiate the group of remedies. Now, learning is through involvement. So the students are involved in working out the case, processing the case, feedback is given. Each teacher of department follows with the student, further working, gives inputs to any specific difficulties, and at every stage, the students is involved in the learning process. He's not a passive, but he becomes active. So post session also, there are certain assignments that come up through the what the case has been taken, and that is given to the students along with reference readings, so that he's well prepared into the understanding of what he needs to learn. Like in assessment also, whether we need to take assessment in an integrated way, or we just give a subject wise assessment. So we have developed these kind of assessment questions where elaborate the bogus concept of man and the reflection of in bogus concept of totality. Give example of two pathological journals from Kona and Moxol nitric acid. Similarly, we give this question is explain in detail the 5 mental pathological symptoms and 5 physical journals of psychotic miasm, and enlist 5 important antipsychotic remedies, enumerate important antipsychotic symptoms of natrum surf. So philosophy, clinical medicine, along with your repertory as well as your materia medica gets highlighted. So at the bedside, this becomes very easier for application, because this is all application based teaching and learning that goes on. So overall, what we have found with this methodology, that there's an improvement in the quality of work submitted by the students over a period of time. Students benefited through the feedback from formative assessment, which helped them to in their summative assessment, guaranteeing a 100% result from 2016 to 2020. Annual feedback reveals significant satisfaction with the methodology and the subjective improvement in the confidence of homeopathic practice, realizing the importance of integration, and the concept learned gave adequate pace for specialized subject when they move to the part 2. So with this, I would like to end the presentation. Thank you for LMHI to giving this opportunity to present.
Thank you, sir. This integrated education is actually important to ensure skillful homeopathic prescribing. Yeah, I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Diksha Chaturvedi, who is an associate professor in Baxter Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital. The topic of presentation is some evidence on neurogenic shifting concept of allergy in the course of treatment from Baxter's homeopathy. Over to you, Dr. Diksha.
Okay, my warmest greeting to one and all present over here, LMHI, at the prestigious platform of LMHI. Myself, Dr. Diksha Chaturvedi, an assistant professor from Baxter Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, India. Today, I'm here presenting an observational study with the title of Some Evidences on Neurogenic Switching Concept of Allergy in the Course of Treatment from Baxter's Homeopathy. In the following presentation, I'm going to discuss briefly about allergy, why it is so important, the neurogenic switching of allergy, which is a published hypothesis, the concept of allergy of Baxter's homeopathy, and our observational study and its results. These are the main authors of our observational study. This is the present scenario of allergy. There's an emerging evidence regarding the rising prevalence of allergic and other immune-mediated diseases in India and other countries in South Asia. Allergy and allergic disorder results from complex interaction between genetic, environmental, and multiple lifestyle factors. Thus, being rich in such diversity, India offers an excellent platform to investigate epidemiology and natural course of allergic disorders. Okay, so in conventional approach, the popular allergy management is desensitization shots, which has their own limitation. There are several promising studies in support of clinically demonstrable activity of homeopathic remedies in cases of allergies. One of them, which is quoted here, is a study by Collin et al. In 147 cases of respiratory allergies. The success rate of homeopathic treatment was 87%, which is highly significant. So the concept or hypothesis, which is the theme and the idea of this observational study, was neurogenic switching of allergy. Neurogenic switching is a hypothesis that explains a mechanism by which a stimulus at one site can lead to inflammation at a distant site. There's a crossover mechanism between neurogenic and immunogenic inflammation with neurogenic switching of the inflammation site. To explain this, this figure is demonstrating the interplay, the crossover of immunogenic and neurogenic inflammation that I have mentioned already. In the neurogenic inflammation, there is chemical interaction with the sensory nerve and release of neuropeptides such as substance P and other neuropeptides through central nervous system. In the immunogenic inflammation, there is antigen antibody or allergen antibody contact on the mast cells, lead to histamine release and lead to local inflammatory reactions. Again, histamine can act on sensory nerves and it can lead to CNS rerouting and thereafter effects on the affected cells. C part of these, there are four parts that I'm explaining one by one. The C part is explaining both histamine and substance P can bind effector cells such as endothelial cells, mucus secreting cell, or any other effector cells to produce inflammation. And the neurogenic switching occurs when an efferent signal from the CNS causes release of neuropeptides at another site, producing inflammation at the site without local stimulation. So, the local stimulation means if there is a food hypersensitivity, so there will be no local reaction in the gut, and the patient may suffer from headache, may suffer from certain skin allergy, may suffer from joint pain and other things. The localized tissues are not presenting any symptom at that time, and that occurs due to this neurogenic switching. And as per Baxter's concept of allergy, the allergy often remains in dormant state within the body, and once the immunity is hampered, the allergic manifestations flares up and switches within the body, generally among the four systems. So the Baxter is again talking about the switching, but there introduced the four system and its presentation, how this switching can present in different disorders in forms of different name of diseases. The four systems are skin, respiratory, GIT, musculoskeletal, which is observed during the course of treatment of allergy as per protocol of Baxter's homeopathy. So these are the switching pathways according to Baxter's homeopathy concept of allergy. These four systems can present at different levels as different manifestations. These are considered as allergic manifestations according to the concept of allergy of Baxter. Like skin can present as dermatitis, urticaria, alopecia. Respiratory symptoms can manifest as allergic rhinitis, sinusitis, etc. Then musculoskeletal system can present as rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, headache, etc. And GIT can present as diarrhea, constipation, peptic ulcers. As per Baxter's homeopathy concept of allergy, neurogenic switching of allergy among four vulnerable systems mentioned earlier may be observed in different phases of patient's life and may gradually change the genetic makeup and subsequently make the allergy endogenic, likewise turning the future generations weaker and sensitive to exogenic factors towards allergic manifestations. This switching may be found during case-taking interrogation, past history, and family history of the patient. For our observational study, the hypothesis which was formed that how neurogenic switching is important for homeopathy, or it can be important for homeopathy, is where there is limited symptoms to find out the indicated homeopathic medicines, such as in one-sided corporeal diseases. After receiving medicines based on presenting totality, the whole economy may get sensitized and the neurogenic switching channels may get activated, and allergic manifestations may switch during the course of treatment from one system to another. The objective was to observe the neurogenic switching of allergic manifestations during the course of treatment with Baxen's homeopathy. The method for an open label observational retrospective study was taken on 19 patient case records from Baxen's Homeopathic Center for Allergy, South 6, New Delhi. Case records which were included were 2019, were from 2019 and at least treated for 6 months. Homeopathic medicine were prescribed as per Baxen's homeopathy protocol of allergy management. These are the results of those 19 case records. This I want to highlight the family history system involvement, the switching in the patient's history, and the treatment. Main focus of neurogenic switching is on the family history system involved and the switching. So, certain family history predisposes the person genetically to certain switching of the systems of the allergic manifestation through these systems. These are the 19 case records and its results. One of the case that was case number 1 from these results were this, where I have encircled the part of switching. First, the family history, where there is involvement of skin, where there is involvement of digestive system, where there is involvement of musculoskeletal system, which includes migraine or headache. In the past history of the patient, there was allergic rhinitis. In the present history, which presented the patient presented with psoriasis. So the present system involvement was skin. During the treatment, the skin symptoms were there, but the switching occurred and the presentation was there of headache also. So the patient complained of headache during the course of treatment with psoriasis. So this is a kind of switching in the patient's life, in the patient's history. There are 3 systems switching. First is respiratory, thereafter skin, and thereafter musculoskeletal system, according to concept of allergy. Out of 19 cases, almost all cases barring one case have shown neurogenic switching of allergies within the 4 systems. There are few cases where there are 2 times switching observed. As I've shown the case, there were 2 times switching. Firstly from respiratory to skin, thereafter skin to musculoskeletal system. In majority of cases, switching is observed from skin to respiratory system. During the process of treatment, a physician must be vigilant to evaluate the switching of miasmatic predominance in case of one-sided diseases like allergy. Likewise, neurogenic switching is another factor to understand the journey of allergic manifestations after prescribing the homeopathic medicine. So, after prescription, there may be certain switching, and the basic thing which I want to highlight is allergic manifestation. Out of 19 cases, along with constitutional medicine, the medicines which were commonly prescribed were Blata orientalis 12x in 11 cases and Antimtat 12x in 7 cases, the most commonly prescribed medicine as per Baxter's homeopathic treatment protocol. Conclusion is this study gives a clue in support of neurogenic switching of allergy with the concept of allergy treatment at Baxter's homeopathy. There is need to undertake studies with greater sample size and randomized control trial in addition to establish any such scientific conclusion, I would like to end up with the references.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you, Dr. Diksha. Thanks a lot. Before I request the chairpersons to give a summary view of the entire session, I have a small request. Since Dr. Bhavik has to leave for the next session, can we have a group photograph first and then we can go on to the summary view of the sessions if the chair permits?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'll request all the participants in this session to kindly put the video on so that we can have a group photo.
Thank you so much, all.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, I would now request our chairperson, Dr. MP Arya, Dr. Monica, to kindly give a synopsis view of the entire session before we close down.